You can do anything, but you can't do everything. Usain Bolt doesn't hold the record for the fastest 100 meters in swimming. Remember, failure was part of the objective of entering the gym this morning. Are there things in your business that are worse off for having you involved in them?
How can I use my business as a way to be there for my family more?
Those outputs can only be reined in and intentionally developed or directed by managing the inputs.
Forced us eventually to take over 2 years of our life to dig out of just to get to zero.
You don't have the things from the places you haven't gone to. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping.
The flies come for the poo, right? There's a push-pull effect with all of your marketing, and it needs to be pushing away the customers that are not a good fit and drawing in the ones that are.
Hey, welcome to all of you, bandits and chilies. This episode is called Broken Systems, Limiting Beliefs, and Reaching Your Goal. Recently, I was asked a great question. How much work do you need to do on a limiting belief before it is no longer a limiting belief? Separately, I had a conversation with another business owner who was expressing feelings of guilt surrounding the levels that his systems were at. These themes overlap and intertwine, and incidentally, both of these conversations happened in the context of Freedom and Profit Quest calls. So, book your 5-day Freedom and Profit Quest via warplan.au/coffees and krakens, link in the description. Anyway, the idea of limiting beliefs. Let me ask you this, and actually answer this question in your head. What is the maximum size that you can imagine your business growing to? Do you think that you could employ 10 people, 50 people, 1,000 people? Could your business do 2 million per year, 13 million per year, or 120 million per year? What do you think? How big could your business possibly get? Okay, now ask yourself this. Is that a limiting belief? That your business can only reach 3 million or 27 million or 30 employees or whatever number that you attached to it? The answer is yes. That is a limiting belief. And it would have been a limiting belief if you had said that your business could reach 2 billion per year or that it could employ 30,000 people. It's a limit, right? You are imposing a limit. There are businesses out there that are doing more than all of these figures per year. So the fact that you don't believe that your business can do that is a limiting belief. But coming back to that question from the outset, how much work do you need to do on a limiting belief before it is no longer a limiting belief? To contextualize that question, we need to actually determine what it is that we want. Now, in doing so, we might encounter other limiting beliefs. Perhaps you come across a desire and you dismiss it. Oh, no, I can't have that, or I'm not allowed to want that, or that isn't realistic. Okay, that's interesting. It might be worth digging into the background of that a little bit. But let's just say, for example, that you work through all of that and you determine that the things that matter the most to you are family and travel and experiences, that kind of thing. So you decide that you would like your business to provide you with enough time and money to be involved in your kids' education. Maybe you're going to homeschool them. Maybe you just want to be present and available to go on excursions. Maybe you want to be the coach on their footy team or whatever. And you want to have enough money to do at least one 2 to 4 week trip per year, sometimes locally, sometimes internationally. Let's just run with that sketch there for a moment. In that scenario, you do not need to conquer your limiting beliefs to the same level as someone who wants to, for example, colonize Mars, right? Elon Musk's desires and strivings are literally out of this world. Do you want to be the one to colonize Mars? No? Okay, cool. So then to achieve everything that you want to achieve, you only need to combat the beliefs that limit you from those results. You don't need to max out your character stats in every possible direction, which is great because you can't do that. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. Usain Bolt doesn't hold the record for the fastest 100 meters in swimming, right? So when we think about limiting beliefs, we need to contextualize them through what it is that we are actually trying to achieve. This doesn't have to be about money and business either. Maybe it's health and fitness. Maybe it's simply the confidence to smile and start a conversation with a stranger. But don't just focus on your limits. Focus on your values. Why does this thing matter to you? What would you like to be able to do? Okay, so let's just pop a bookmark in that idea for a second and move on to the other conversation that I referenced about guilt surrounding systems. Have you ever felt that? Has something gone wrong in your business and you feel shame around admitting the problem because you feel like you should have already solved it? Let me give you an example. You get a customer complaint because one of your employees did a poor quality job. You dig into it a bit and you realize that he missed part of the job because it wasn't well documented, and then he didn't do a walkthrough with the customer at the end just to make sure that they were happy. Either of those things would have solved the issue. And you are kicking yourself because you know that. You know that the documentation and job notes should have been better, and that if we did X, Y, and Z in the process, that this wouldn't happen. Simultaneously, if you had implemented that end-of-job checklist that you have written on a sticky note that fell off your computer monitor last month, if you had actually done that, you wouldn't have this grumpy customer right now. Can you relate to that? Have you got some examples of your own swimming around in your head right now? Okay, so first of all, relax. You're fine. Take a breath and let go of some of the guilt that you are carrying around from this stuff. Here's the reality. You will always know how to do it better than you are actually doing it. We all have a knowing-doing gap. If you ask Elon Musk or Alex Hormozi or Dan Martell about gaps in their businesses and things that could be fixed, they will instantly be able to tell you several things that they know could be being done better. And if they fixed all of them in that moment, they would be just as quick to come up with several more things that could be being done better. Same with you, right? If your documentation was fixed, if your quote process was tightened up, if your team were better trained and equipped with a more comprehensive end-of-job checklist, great. Now, what else is broken? What else isn't optimized? Alex Hormozi says that you don't need to solve more problems, you need to pick better problems to solve. I was listening to him describe their process for iterating on changes, and they carefully pick the one thing that they are going to change, and then they make that their focal point for 3 months before reevaluating the next thing. Now, to be clear, that was in the context of sales funnels, and the scope and scale of that problem is very different from your business and from mine. But nonetheless, the principle holds. Don't try to fix everything. Identify the most important thing and fix that. Now, this is where the overlap comes into play. So flip back to that bookmark that we left earlier. We need to contextualize our limiting beliefs in order to know what they are limiting us from. So imagine that your business systems were all laid out in front of you with a 1 to 10 scale rating. Perhaps your hiring system is a 3 out of 10, and your customer follow-up, that's a 5 out of 10, and your staff training, that's a 7 out of 10, and your marketing is a 4 out of 10, and so on. It's all there laid out in front of you. What if none of your systems needed to be a 10 out of 10? You can contextualize them in the same way. What is your why? What does your business serving you and your family look like to you? Once you know the destination, you can see what the vehicle to get you there needs to look like. Sure, maybe a Rolls-Royce would get you to where you want to go, but if it is the destination that matters, perhaps a 2006 Honda Civic will get you there just fine. Maybe your hiring system only needs to move from a 3 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10. Maybe your customer follow-up only needs to move from a 5 out of 10 to a 6 out of 10. So give yourself some grace when things in your business are not as good as you know they could be. Work on the most important thing and contextualize what actually matters. What needs to be true so that you can reach whatever your goal is. If you want to smash that out of the park and get insane clarity on everything that we've covered today for yourself and your business specifically, book your 5-day Freedom and Profit Quest via warplan.au/coffees and krakens, link in the description. That's it. Have an awesome day. Make someone else's day awesome. I love you just the appropriate amount, like take whatever is weird and then take a healthy step backwards from that line. That's exactly how much. If it's weird, you're the weirdo. Catch ya. Bye.
Hey, you're a family-oriented business grower. You should join our free group for family-oriented business growers. It's like the perfect place for someone your size and shape. Join via warplan.au, link in the description, and whilst you're there you can book a free clarity call with me to help identify the next 3 dominoes you need to knock over in your business.